Hey, what's up? Welcome to Rattling Bones Club, the place for tips and tricks in the world of live sound mixing and the touring music industry. In this video, we'll look at 3 different items that every sound engineer should always have in their work bag. These are all items that I consider to be essential to my job, and they're always the first thing that I pack into my bag before I head out on tour or I'm doing a show as an in-house sound engineer. I will leave links down below to all the items that I recommend, so if you do want to pick them up for yourself, check out the description of this video. But yeah, let's get started. Item number 1. So, item number 1 in my bag. Okay, this should be obvious, but a good pair of headphones are essential for any sound engineer doing a show. These are the ones that I use, the Audio-Technica ATH M50X. They're the first thing in my bag every single time I'm doing a show. I never do a show without these. They sound great, they're super clear, super crisp, they've got a great bass response, very good at isolating so you can hear what you need to hear when you need to hear it. And they're very comfortable to wear. They look great as well. And they do fall down pretty small, which means I can fit them in this little hard carry case, along with some more accessories. They fit in there, nice and easy, with a carry handle, straight to front house, nice and protected in this case if they're in my bag or rattling around on the tour bus. But yeah, why am I recommending headphones? Let's go through the list of why you need them during a show and why you should always have them with you in your bag. Say you're mixing a show and you can hear some pops and clicks, don't know where they're coming from. Stick your headphones on and solo each of the channels to find out where that problem is. And then you know if it's a XLR cable that needs changing or a microphone that needs changing, and you know which channel it is, so you can go and fix it quick and efficiently, rather than messing around, looking at the desk, trying to work out which channel is clipping or where it might be coming from and just guessing. Use your headphones to find that problem fast and get it solved. Okay, the next reason you should always carry headphones with you is if you're in a dodgy mix position, and we've all been there. You might have to mix on a balcony, you might have to mix down the side of the room next to the toilet. Maybe there's loads of metal walls around you reflecting stuff. Maybe you're even in a different room altogether. Definitely been there, and headphones will save the day every time. Stick your headphones on, get your mix together good on your headphones, and then go for a walk and check out what it sounds like on the floor in front of the PA. And then you've got that comparison to make with what it actually sounds like and what it sounds like on your headphones, rather than trying to guess in this crazy mix position where stuff could be reflecting and sounding really weird where you stood. Use your headphones as a reference point, get your mix sounding good, and just, yeah, rely on them, get to know them. Definitely use mine a lot for shows, especially festivals where you might be to the side of the PA or really far away and it just doesn't sound the same where you're stood as it does down the front of the crowd. Use your headphones to give you that good reference point. So use your headphones and get a good mix together. And speaking of festivals, one of the main reasons I'm recommending headphones is if you're at a festival, sometimes, in fact, the majority of times, you're not allowed to sound check. So you don't get a sound check and you're not even allowed to line check your band through the PA on the changeover. So you need to use your headphones to make sure that all your inputs are working correctly on that changeover. So get your headphones on, go through each individual input, make sure everything's good, make sure all the inputs are where they should be and everything's correct. And then when showtime rolls around and you unmute the PA, at least you know, because you've checked it all on headphones, that your mix should be somewhat together, and it'll just ease that pressure of a festival show. But yeah, item number 1, headphones. I'll leave these ones linked down below in the description, along with this carry case that I use as well. They're a little bit on the pricier side for the M50s, so if you are just starting out and you want a cheaper pair, I'll also recommend some in a lower price bracket that you can check out as well. Okay, item number 2. So a good set of USB flash drives. So it's something I personally might not use every single show, but I do know that the show that I forget them is when I'll need them. So don't regret it. Just always carry a collection of USB flash drives with you for these reasons. Okay, so you'll need a USB flash drive to save your show files to. So say you're touring with a band doing lots of small to medium venues. If they're all around the same capacity, there's a high chance that you'll see the same mixing consoles turn up every few shows. Like commonly you'll see X32s, M32s, you'll see profiles, like all those sort of desks that you can save your show file from and load it up at the next show. It'll just clear a little bit of time during sound check. So for example, say the first show's on X32, you set up your first show file, how you like it, but it takes you a little bit of time to get all the labeling down, get all the routing of the effects and the sends, get all your groups and stuff together, all your DCAs. But then at the end of the show, you're really happy with how the mix progressed and you managed to dial in some cool little bits of EQ, compression, all that sort of stuff. save your show file, and then the next show, maybe you're on an M32 or an X32 again, you load up your file from a USB drive. Then you've got a great starting point. It just makes life so much easier, and it just means you can dial in your mix more and more each time. So you can dial in those compression settings, you can dial in those gate settings and get them nice and tight, and then your mix will improve show by show because you can save it to a USB drive and load it the next one. But yeah, when you load up your file, just double check that all your inputs and outputs are all correct for the new venue that you're in, and just be careful that you're not going to blow up any speakers with the amount you send in. Always pull down your faders before you start and then mix into the new show. So another thing that I like to have on my USB flash drives are blank start files for most of the common consoles that you'll come across while touring. So just start files laid out exactly how I like to mix, with my effects racks, aux sends, DCAs and groups all labeled, ready to assign. And then I know that I've got that file if I'm touring with a band that I've not really worked with before. At least I've got a file that I can load up and I'm familiar with the layout of the mix. I know where my effects are, I know my DCAs are all ready to assign. So I can quickly label the inputs, get everything assigned, and crack on with the mix, being comfortable that I know where everything is. Also, if I'm working as an in-house engineer at a local show, I always have the start files for each of the rooms that I usually work at saved onto my USB drive, because you never know if one of the other engineers that works there might delete your file by accident, or if that desk goes away for a service and they end up wiping the memory on there and your start file gets deleted. I have a backup of it on my USB drive ready to load with me at every show. Also, the next reason is most modern digital mixer consoles let you record your left-right master bus direct to a USB stick. So I have a separate USB stick that I use just for recording. I'll record any console where I can, just plug it in and record the show. And then if I feel like I want to listen back to my show and see how I did, see where I can improve on my mix, I've got that recorded. Or maybe the band that you're working with or touring with, I'd like to use a copy of that for any social media posts. Or maybe they know that the guitarist messed up the solo that night and they just want to have a laugh at him and save that and shame him forever. So, and then this flash drive here, my gold one, this one has all my Waves plugins on there. All my Waves licenses are authorized to this USB stick. So if I ever come across a Avid profile console that has the Waves plugins installed, or maybe any other consoles that have got the Waves capabilities, I have my licenses on this USB stick ready to just plug in, activate the license. That means I can use all the Waves plugins on my mix. But the world of Waves plugins is a completely different topic, and I will go into those in future videos. So I do use them quite a lot on my live mixers. But yeah, just be aware that the journey starts with the USB stick with all my licenses on. So make sure you pack that USB stick with you every show. So the USB sticks I'm recommending are these all metal ones by Kingston. They work great. I've never had a problem with them. They've never failed. I've had other USB sticks in the past that have broken. These plastic ones, not very good. And it's the last thing you want is to lose all your show files. So I recommend these all metal ones. They've never failed me, and just back them up every few months. Save them to your computer, and then if anything does happen to them or you lose it, you have got a backup of everything that was on there. You can put it onto a new flash drive ready to go. But yeah, I'll leave a link to these Kingston ones down below so you can check them out for yourself. And moving on to item number 3. So technically this is 2 items: PVC electrical tape and black Sharpies. And you should all know why you need these for every show. If you don't, here's why. So if there's anything you need to label during a show, tape, Sharpie, write it on, stick it on, done. So it's pretty common during shows to change backline, and microphones will be moving around. Maybe it's a completely different drum kit, or elements of the drum kit are changing, and microphones are moving, getting unplugged, moving away to the side, and you don't want that chaos of trying to work out what cable is what during a changeover. So once you've finished your sound check and everything's working correctly, wrap a little bit of tape around the end of the XLR cable and label that line so you know what it is. So if it does get unplugged or get moved out of the way, you know what it is because you can read it on the cable. And you don't have to label them super detailed. What I normally do is just write the letter of what the instrument is. So say it's the kick in mic, I'll just put K-in. Or if it's a snare top, I might just write top. Or the hi-hat, I'll just put the letter H. Or the toms, I'll just put 1, 2, 3. But by doing that, it just saves you that headache of finding a rogue XLR cable on stage, not knowing what it is, having to trace it back to the stage box to work out what line it is before plugging it in. So just label the cables and you're good to go. Also, if you somehow walk into a venue and it's in the past and they've got a big old analog desk, then tape will be your best friend. Label the front of that desk and make sure you know what channel is what on that desk, because there's nothing worse than looking down at your mix of 20 channels and you think, oh, I want to adjust the level of the bass guitar, and then you have to work out which channel is what input because there's no scribble strip. So bit of tape, label your inputs, make sure you know what's what, and you'll be good to go. So light color tape is always good for labeling things. So white, red, yellow, purple, that sort of thing. So you can read what you write on there with the Sharpie. But also it's always good to carry some black tape with you. It's good for if you have a energetic singer who moves around a lot with a microphone. So you can just wrap a little bit of black tape between the microphone and the XLR to hold it into place, and it won't be as noticeable as if you used red or white tape. So yeah, always carry black tape with you. So that's 3 essential items that I have in my bag every single show when I'm working as a sound engineer. If there is any items that you think are essential for a sound engineer to have in their bag, then let me know in the comments down below, and maybe they'll make it onto the list next time. Remember to hit that like button down below, as it really does help this channel out. And if you're not already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Go follow me on Instagram at Rattling Bones Club. I post lots of weekly content on there as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.